El Vélez, el Vélez, el Vélez. El fenómeno que todos quieren ser. El chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys, on this beautiful Thursday for you guys? It would be a Thursday morning. For me, it's Wednesday night. Welcome to episode 118 of the Exact Top Podcast. I'm your host, Elvalez. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the comments. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Follow me on all the social medias. All right, so mostly it's going to be a fast episode. There's not a lot to talk about. Just a couple rumors, some signings. The biggest thing we're going to talk about is shout out to the Florida Panthers. We did it. It was a long, hard road. It was 210 straight games for 2 years, reaching the cup twice. One failing in 5 against the Avalanche last year. And this year, going up 3-0 against the best player in the world at the moment in Connor McDavid, a.k.a. McJesus. And a really talented Edmonton team with Leon Draisaitl and Forsling and, Skinner standing on his head, but they took us to 7. It got scary. But at the end of the day, Florida Panthers went back to what they do best, and that's defend. And they defended. And Tarasenko and Tkachuk and Reinhart, Barkov, Bobrovsky stood on his head on the last game. 2-1, we won. It was 2 incredible goals, one by Reinhart, and the other one, I want to get the goal scorers right. It wasn't Tkachuk. I don't think it was Barkov. I'll tell you guys right now who scored that. The first one was, the second one was Reinhart. So the first one was one of the mainstays. I just need to see who it was real quick. Who it was. It is dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. It was, the goal scorer was Go. Oh, Janmark for the Oilers. And we got Ramhart and Connor Verhaeghe. We scored in the first period, super important. Got the 1-0 lead. Got scored on in the second period, and then we came back and scored at the end of the second period, going into the third 2-1, and we held it down. They were attacking late, but we played Florida Panthers hockey, which is defend, floor check, don't allow free pucks up the middle, stingy with the puck, and we were everything, and then just Bob standing on his head. Now, many different things about this game. Very little penalties. I think there were 2 in total. McDavid got shut down just like in Game 6. They got shut down. He got shut down shots-wise. They shut down McDavid. Took Leon and Draisaitl had a bad series. But took Leon Draisaitl's and McDavid's like free skating and took it out of question. They couldn't do anything. We defended like hell. We helped We had more opportunities to score, uh, but we made two of them count, and we're Stanley Cup champions for the first time in our 30-year history on our 30th year anniversary. Um, the journey has been hard. The journey was long, but now we get to enjoy what is considered the hardest championship to win in sports, and probably one of the top three most physical sports in the world. Um, and seeing hockey in playoff form, especially in the finals, it was entertaining. I had never sat down to watch hockey like that, but I made a considerate effort, especially once we made it to the finals, that I was gonna watch every game, and it was very enjoyable once you start understanding the game. Because at the beginning you're just like, "Where's the puck? Where are we going? Like, why are we hitting boards? Why are they just throwing the puck into aimless places?" But once you start like understanding how a floor check works, and being around the blue line, and how shots are set up, and how people are moving, and how good Connor McDavid is, and how good our defense is, how good the floor check is, how opportunities open up for themselves, a breakaway, you know how goalies are moving to stop pucks, the picking that's going on in front of the net to try to blind the vision of the goalie. Like, it was a very enjoyable series, and of course, it's going to be a very enjoyable championship. Can we do it again? I believe we can. We have the pieces to. Chuck is there for a long time. Reinhardt, I believe, is there for a long time. Berhage, Bobrovsky. Um, it's crazy because our coach has the most losses in NHL history as a coach, and been fired numerous times, has been around the league and been a coach over 30 years. And for him to finally reach the mountaintop, I think it just speaks to maybe all those losing years wasn't on him. Wasn't fully on him. Some blame always goes to the coach, obviously, but you know, he's the one that the GM. He's the one that stuck out his neck and his job to get to Chuck in a trade 2 years ago, and he wins it. He wins a cup for the Tkachuk family after his dad was an incredible player for 14 years and never could get the cup. Matthew Tkachuk brings the cup home for the Tkachuk family. Our captain, the Finnish, Barkov. He was probably one of the, if not the best, if not the best defenseman this year in the league. Now, there was a little tension, once we won, and the Conn Smythe had to be handed out, and people were kind of thinking, people were kind of thinking, oh, maybe Bob should win it. The Panthers won. He stood on his head his last game. But they gave it to Connor McDavid. Now, I understand it. I'm not mad at it. Yes, I would like it to be Bob. If not, it probably wouldn't have been Bob. It probably would have been Barkov. But the reason Connor won it, and the reason that I'm not completely like and party pooping the parade, is because this guy had the fourth most points in NHL playoff history, only behind Wayne Gretzky. And that's incredible. To put your name next to that guy, the guy that they call the great one, the closest thing. I mean, I think that the three sports figures that are immortalized in their respective sports, if I really had to boil it down, I'm talking about immortalization of the mystique, the aura of what they were when they were at their peak. I think it's Ali, Jordan, and Gretzky. If I really had to pick people that are absolutely gods on what they decided to do their profession in, sports-wise. I think it's Jordan, Gretzky, and Ali are those guys that instead of, you don't even put them in list. Jordan, they put him in list because LeBron got, a bunch of the longevity and a bunch of accolades and all that. But, like, you don't put him in list. Like, when you ask people about Jordan's Jordan. When you ask people about Wayno's Wayno. When you ask people about Muhammad Ali, is just, the great one. I am the greatest. Like, one's called Black Jesus. The other one's called the Great One. The other one's called the Greatest. I think those three are those guys. And, Connor McDavid, to put his name close to that guy that had 440-plus point playoff runs in his career, which is insane, speaks volumes to what he did, and he was the most dominant offensive player of the playoffs. Absolutely. Without him, they don't get there. I don't even think they make the playoff. Maybe with Leon Draisaitl, but they don't get this deep into the playoffs. 9th year, has won 3 MVPs already. So, he's going to be one of the greatest of all time. He just needs to keep chasing that cup. They can come back next year. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Leon Draisaitl, but if he wants to go his own team, or he wants to be right there with McDavid and try to really get a cup, being his a 1-2 punch, because I think that kid has superstar potential all over him. But it was nice to see the Panthers get up off the mat, just like they've been doing forever, especially the last 2 years. If it ain't hard, we don't want it. And they didn't want it easy. They made it very hard on themselves. Could have closed it out game 4. Could have closed it out game 5. Could have closed it out game 6. No. They wait till game 7 for a 2-1 win. Classic Panthers fashion. Shout out to the Florida Panthers. All right. Now comes the quick part. I'm just going to kind of ramble here. We're going to go through each sport. First, starting with the racing. We want to talk about, what we got going on this week and everything. But the draft opens up at 8 p.m., so in 15 minutes. So probably we're going to be maybe reacting to the first few picks. I think it might be Rushiche and then Alex Sarr. Rob Dillingham might be falling. Who knows? Trades everywhere. We're going to get into all that. But let's get into racing. Let's get to Formula One, the Austrian Grand Prix. Listen, as much as I really want to root for, I really want to root for Lando or Russell or Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton. This track, if I've ever seen domination the last 3 years from this Red Bull team, it's been at this track. When they've had double headers there, they've swept sprint, shootout, everything. Pole, everything. It's a really nice track. It's a really nice race to watch because they're you got turn, I believe it's turn 5. If not, it's turn 3 where they come off the DRS straight and then they catch another DRS straight. Like, it literally goes turn 3, take another DRS straight all the way to turn 5, because I think they count that little kink as a turn. So then you get to turn 5 and it's another passing opportunity and you get double DRS. What that means is you come off the first straightaway, you got DRS. If you stay within a second and cross the timing beam less than a second away from whoever you're chasing, you get another set of DRS coming out of that corner to try to catch them for the next corner. The other thing is, if you pass somebody, excuse me, if you pass somebody on the first straight, but you go through. You're within a second when you go through the timing loop, the detection point. You can make that pass in that corner and then get DRS coming out, which is an extension of DRS essentially, and that is the main reason why Max Verstappen wins at this track. The DRS is too overpowered for the Red Bulls. So although I would like for Lando to maybe win, of course Lewis, I would always like for Lewis to win, but the Austrian Grand Prix is probably the worst possible race for anybody to go to right now against Red Bull. I think the British Grand Prix is going to be where Hamilton gets his best shot because he loves that track so much. He has the record for wins there. It's his home track. It's his home Grand Prix. It's Norris's home Grand Prix. It's George Russell's home Grand Prix. But you're going to see the flares in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. It's literally called the Red Bull Ring. Like, it's their home track. It's their home country, home Grand Prix. So they're going to be ready. And I think, unfortunately, I just don't think somebody stops Verstappen at the home track of the car that he's racing. NASCAR is going to Nashville. So the same track that the championship ends on, Nashville. Actually, no, that's Phoenix. Nashville and Tennessee. It's a good track. It's a 1 1.3 mile. Good 300 laps. It's a good track. It's a clean. Ross Chastain won there last year. I expect for Logano, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, of course, Chase Elliott, Blaney, now that he has some momentum. Watch out for Josh Berry, not for a win, but maybe like another top 5 or maybe a win. Maybe try to see if Ty Gibbs starts to get off the mat a little bit. But I think that overall it's going to be a good game, but I think it's going to be JGR or Hendrick Motorsports unless somebody out of nowhere from Haas or Trackhouse, like Ross Chastain last year, just comes outright and wins it. IndyCar. We are going to nowhere because the Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio is the 7th, which is next week. So we're not going nowhere at IndyCar. Let's see here. We have the Euro Cup, European Championship. Okay. So the round of 16, I believe, is set. We have, on Saturday, we have Switzerland, Italy. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to take Switzerland there. Germany, Denmark. I'm going to take Germany. Sunday, we got England versus Slovakia. Good game. I think England with Bellingham gets it done. Georgia versus Spain. Spain should win. I mean, they've won 5 in a row. Yeah, they should win. Monday, we have France and Belgium. I think I'm leaning France. Belgium just tied today with 0-0 with Ukraine, so I think I'm definitely leaning France. Portugal, Slovenia, tough. I'm going to go with Portugal just because the GOAT is there, Ronaldo. Romania, Netherlands, I'm going to go with the Netherlands. The Dutch are always nasty. Austria, Turkey. This is interesting because, I love Hakimi. But, I mean, this is kind of a toss-up. If you really think about it, this is really a toss-up. Arda Güler. Isn't Hakimi on this team? I could have sworn, unless he's hurt, but I could have sworn Hakimi's on this team. I thought that's what made him great. That Hakimi was on the team, but I think I'm gonna go with Austria in that one. So those are your round of 16. in the Euros, in the we are looking for Copa America. We're at the group stage right now. Ecuador, Jamaica is 2-1. Ecuador in the 91st minute. Venezuela, Mexico is next. I think I got Mexico in that one. I believe. Panama, USA, that's good. That's tomorrow. I got USA. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be easy. It could be a tie, but I got the USA. I like what I saw from Pulisic. Uruguay, Bolivia. I think Uruguay is going to win that. Then you have Colombia, Costa Rica next Friday. No, Friday. Colombia, Costa Rica. I think I got Colombia, Paraguay, Brazil, Argentina, Peru, Argentina, Canada, Chile. I'm going to go Chile. Then you go Sunday. You got Mexico versus Ecuador. I think I want to go Ecuador. And then Jamaica, Venezuela. I think I'll go Venezuela. Jamaica. Jamaicans are good, man. Then USA, Uruguay. I think that's where we lose. USA, Uruguay. I think that's where we lose. Bolivia, Panama on Monday. Costa Rica, Paraguay. That's going to be for the group stage, basically. And then Brazil, Colombia is going to be the game that everybody wants to see, and I think I got Brazil in that one. All right. Now we move to what's going on Twitter. On X, more specifically. All right. Starting off from the top. We got Jimmy Butler will not be signing an extension with the Heat or any other team ahead of his opt-out in 2025. What does that mean? We got one more year with Jimmy. So, Jimmy, welcome to the team for one more year. Now, when you leave us, please don't leave us like this. That would not be nice. Please leave us like this. I hope so. If not, we got to look for something. Hawks closing in on Zachary Rushesher for the number 1 pick. Seems like they're taking the French kid. Nick Claxton intends to sign a 4-year deal, $100 million to return with the Nets. Probably the only thing that they're returning because Mikal Bridges is out of there. Time they reunited the Villanova 4. I said this maybe like a week or two ago on one of the podcasts. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I said that when the Knicks got knocked out, I said that the Knicks would be like that to try to put everybody back together. Mikal Bridges from the Villanova teams of those championships with Jay Wright in New York. And now they're making fun of him because Thibodeau is going to run. It's been 462 games straight of Mikal Bridges been playing, and now Tibbs got him. So he don't rest nobody. So he's probably going to. They're saying that they're going to break him down. His streak is going to end. Yeah, Claxton's good to keep. You good young center, can develop. Great shot blocker, and can get bigger, can get better. But I think they're gutting this whole team. $100 million, that's pretty good. NBA standards, $100 million is run-of-the-mill contract. But it's 4 years, so he got some stability. $96 million guaranteed. Okay, so $4 million of incentives, I guess. Alex Sarr looks like a beige Crayola for his fit in the draft. I just had to say that because I saw it. Indianapolis Colts say Anthony Richardson's full go for training camp. That's what they needed to hear. Now he can throw. Now you can see what you actually got and see the unlimited athletic potential of that kid and his mentality. And we'll see this year. I'm very excited to see what he does. The Blazers are sending. No, wait. Let me hit you with the actual news first. The Washington Wizards are trading Danny Avdija to the Portland Trailblazers for Malcolm Brogdon and a 14th pick tonight, and in the 2029 pick. The Blazers are sending the second most favorable of their 2029 first-round pick and two second-round picks in the deal for Advia. This is a good forward for them. You put him next to Jeremy Grant. You start Scoot. You start Shaedon Sharpe. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Anthony Simons, who's coming off the bench. Somebody has to come off the bench. You're not going to run three guards. You could put Shaedon at three if you want and run a three-guard lineup, but you're going to be weak defensively at the Anthony Simons spot. And when you talk about the West, the guy that's going to be facing, that's an assignment. That's, that's the Luka, that's Kyrie. That's a tough assignment. Danny Avdija is a good offensive weapon for them. I think that it'll give him a little bit more flexibility when it comes to like attacking the paint. He can shoot the three. He could put the ball on the deck too and get his own. So I think it's going to be a good addition. I don't think he plays a lick of defense, but I think for offensively, which is what they need right now, I think it's a good signing. It's a good trade. Let's see here. Another thing that happened was OG Anunoby intends to sign a 5-year, $212.5 million contract to return with the Knicks. That's expected because OG Anunoby, they were 17-3 when he got to the team. Like before he got hurt again, they went 17-3, I believe, with him in the lineup. And they just added Mikal Bridges too. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So shout out to OG, and they definitely needed to do that. Now the instability of like what OG was gonna do is gone. 212.5. He got paid from the Raptors to getting paid big time. Another thing that we got is no supplemental draft for the NFL this year. So there's been trade rumors with KD. We'll get to the trade with Houston and all that, but this is what Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, said about the rumors. NBA draft night is the best. Everyone talking about the drama and storylines. Some are right and some are wrong. Some are just wrong. My turn. Phoenix loves Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant loves Phoenix. We are competing for a championship this year because we have the team to do it. Gotta love draft night. Go Suns. AKA told you we're not trading Kevin Durant this year. But the move that the Rockets did was not for this year. It was for next year. Okay? And what that means is that go to my bookmarks. The Mavericks have some level of interest in Kevin Durant. Of course, Kyrie, Luka, duh. So the Knicks core is Jalen Brunson's 27, Mikal Bridges is 27, OG Anunoby's 26, Julius Randle 29, Mitchell Robinson 26, Deuce McBride 23, Dante DiVincenzo 27, Josh Hart 29. Everybody under 30 and here to stay, there to stay, and have chemistry together. That's a championship-aged roster there. 27, 27, 26, 29, 26, 23, 27, 29. Your core guys are 29, 27, 29, 26, 27, 27. They're all, there's finals experience with Mikal Bridges. There's a championship with OG Anunoby. So I think that, it's a good core, and they added Mikal Bridges, obviously, to combat the wings of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the Celtics, which makes sense. From the Trae Young side, Trae Young is not expected to fetch a trade package similar to those to Mikal Bridges or Rudy Gobert on the trade market, per Bobby Marks. DeJounte Murray actually has more value than Trae Young at this stage. I could have told you this last year. I could have told you this when he shot 33% from three the second year of his career after shooting 38 his rookie year, or his sophomore year. Yeah, man, you're not an efficient. You're not as efficient as Steph Curry. You're smaller than him, and you're not even close defensively to him. So overall, I think unfortunately Trae Young might be finding himself in purgatory very soon on one of those teams, or just in Atlanta. The Wizards remain in active trade discussions around Kyle Kuzma. Washington could attach Kuzma alongside Nas. Number 14, number 26 to move up even higher in the draft than the current slots. This is before the Danny Advia deal. Oh no, this was after. This was after because they said Kuzma and Malcolm Brogdon are players who still might be on the move tonight. So they still might move them. The Rockets could dangle Alfred Sengun in a potential trade for Kevin Durant. This is next year. This is from Brian Windhorst. He said, one thing I want to point out, watch what the Rockets do tonight with the number 3 pick. This is one of the most important moments of the draft. And in many cases, this is where the draft kind of starts. Yeah, because nobody knows what's going on at 3, whether it's Reed Shepherd from Kentucky, Rob Dillingham from Kentucky, or they're trading the pick. Or maybe somebody else sneaks up there. If the Rockets take Donovan Clingan from UConn, which is that's something else they can do. Another center, which is an option for them. Now they have a bunch of centers on their roster that would potentially enable them to make Alfred Sengun, their very talented Turkish center, available in a type of trade that could dangle in front of the Suns for Kevin Durant. Now, speaking on the basis of this would-be trade, I would not give up my 23, I believe. I would not 22-year-old young center that just, had a great season and broke out for a 35-year-old Kevin Durant when I don't have no playoff experience. No, the only playoff experience I got is in my coach. Now, okay, we got Fred VanVleet. He's a champion. Dylan Brooks. I'm not miscounting those guys, but I'm talking about, like, you're in the West. You're trying to give yourself as best of a chance as you can. And Kevin Durant, at his age, I just think Alfred Sengun just adds a little bit more, especially to the playmaking side of the game. I wouldn't do that if I was the Rockets. There's a ton of buzz around Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith that could get moved tonight. Keep an eye on the Kings, who continue to aggressively shop the number 13 overall pick for one of both Brooklyn's veteran wings. That makes sense. So the Warriors are prepared to offer Paul George a 4-year max deal, which means, like, okay, does that mean Clay's going to get traded? Does Clay walk away? He wants 4 years, wants a full-out max. Him and Curry would be very interesting because he would play the 3, and if they maintain Clay, then Clay plays the 2, Draymond plays the 4, and I believe they would have Trace Jackson-Davis next year starting at center. If not, it's still Kayvon Looney. This gives Curry the outlet that he needs, not because Clay was not an outlet, but Clay is a set shooter. Clay comes off of pin downs, comes off of screens. When you're talking about an outlet is, holy shit, I'm getting double teamed. I need to pass this ball, like with Luka and Kyrie. I need to pass this ball to somebody who can cook with it against somebody and get to the hole, get their own shot. And PG would allow them to do that and be even more versatile on the defensive end, especially if you run offensively. You go Curry, Clay. If you want to go small, you go Curry, Clay, PG, Wiggins, Draymond, and you have a switchable-ass lineup Curry's a better defender than people give him credit for. Clay, I think, will come back stronger this year. I mean, he's still 33, so I think, or 34. Like, I think the legs are still there. I think he'll get more stronger in the legs and not have a dominant defensive year like he used to, but I think he'll have a good year. And then you're shooting 40%, 40%, 40% from the outside with those three. If Wiggins plays to his snuff, he can shoot 38 to 40%. And then Draymond just has to be the facilitator on the floor. That could be something very interesting. You could play pods as well with GPs. A lot of different lineups if they get PG. That would be a very good move for both parties, honestly. And it looks like PG wants to stay on the West Coast. So if he was going to move, he's going to be still on the West Coast. Bam signs a 3-year contract, 3-year deal, $166 million. 3-year deal is interesting. We lock one of our cornerstone players down for the 2028-2029 season. But it's a 3-year extension, so I'm guessing there's an opt out there somewhere or something if he's not happy or something like that. So Warriors are prepared to offer PG a 4-year max via opt-in and trade. So he opts in and then they trade him, which would be crazy. Okay, so the big deal that happened, that why people are saying the Rockets have possibly gearing up for Kevin Durant next year, is because the deal was the Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle to a trade. Well, it's already done. To trade Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic for 4 unprotected first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Bucks, and an unprotected pick swap, and a second-rounder. Okay? Scotty Barnes got a $270 million contract. I think we talked about that. They needed, that's his franchise player. That's who they're building around, so they needed to do that. Kenny Atkinson, we talk about that. Yeah, I mean, the 4 unprotected first round picks is crazy. So they get that. The Houston, gets that, because it was a giant trade between Houston, the Nets, and no. So there was two. So the Nets made two deals. One with the Knicks, and then this one with Houston, which is Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a deal with with Houston to return the Nets 2026 first round pick for a 2027 Phoenix Suns first round pick. That's where the Kevin Durant connection is. You get a Phoenix first round pick that want that first round pick back, so possibly in the Kevin Durant trade. And then Rockets also acquired 2025 right to swap Houston OKC first for a 2025 Suns first round pick. So very interesting. Just picks for picks. But looks like they're gearing up for possibly trying to go after KD. Zachary Ricochet got picked number 1 overall. He was a teammate of I don't think he was a teammate actually, but he played in the same thing as Wemby. Something about OG Anunoby here about signing. It just popped up. Trying to look for it. It disappeared. All right. I thought I was gonna be able to see it. I guess not. Yeah, so Zachary Ricochet. That's the first pick. We have to see where Stephon Castle goes. He has superstar potential, and upside. Klingon, Edey, if he even gets drafted, Bronny, wherever he gets drafted, Roach from Duke, Dillingham might be first 3 picks, or he might fall. Reed Shepard, where he goes. So there's a lot of people that, there's a lot of people. All right, so that goes for the NBA. And then finally for MLB, just real quick, we're gonna go through the standings. We're gonna focus more on the wild card from now on. Excuse me. So the games today, Guardians and the Orioles are 2-2, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. Yankees are losing 3-0 to the Mets, top of the 4th. Blue Jays and the Red Sox are in the rain delay, 0-0. Braves, Cardinals. Braves are losing 2-0 in the top of the 5th. Dodgers, White Sox 1-0, top of the 1st. I guess somebody hit a home run, maybe. Did somebody hit a home run? Shohei Ohtani? Home run again. Leadoff. Again. Two games in a row. Yo, Ohtani's crazy right now. He's back at like 27 home runs. 25, 26. So he's like close to Judge. But the guy's insane, bro. Once he wakes up, he doesn't put it down. Mariners won against the Rays 5-2. Phillies won against the Tigers 6-2. Pirates won against the Reds 6-1. Braves won against the Cardinals in the first doubleheader, which I believe was Chris Sale. Let me just double check for you guys. Pitching was... Oh, no, Reynaldo Lopez. But Chris Sale's pitching right now, and they're losing. Rockies lost to the Astros 7-1. Marlins lost to the Royals 5-1. Alex Sarr just went to the Wizards at the number 2 pick, the other French kid. The Brewers beat the Rangers 6-5. Angels beat the Athletics 5-2. Padres beat the Nationals 8-5. And the Twins and Diamondbacks, let's see who's pitching. We have Simeon Woods Richardson and Ryan Nelson. I think I'm going to go Twins. And then for the Giants, we have Hayden Wesneski versus Hayden. So 2 Haydens. And I don't know who Hayden Birdsong is, so I'm going to go with the Cubs in Hayden Wesneski. Standings-wise, not much has changed because not much is going to change. The Yankees still hold a 2-game lead over Baltimore in the AL East. Cleveland holds a 9-game buffer at Minnesota. KC dropped to 3rd at 9.5 back. Seattle has a 4.5 game lead on Houston, not Texas. Texas is 7.5 games back right now. Houston is 4.5, so they're clawing back at 40-40. Phillies are 7.5 games up on the Braves. 6.5 games up are the Brewers over St. Louis. And the Dodgers are 8 games up on San Diego. If we go to the wild card, the wild card basically goes like this. It goes Baltimore, Minnesota, Boston. And the Royals are right tied with Boston for that last spot. And then, wait, it's only 2. I forgot. It's only 2 teams. So Baltimore, Minnesota. So Boston and KC are tied with each other. Yeah, they're tied with each other. For I believe it's 3 wild cards. Yeah. Yeah, so KC and Boston are tied for the last wild card. And then, on their heels is Houston, 3 games back. 3.5 games back is Tampa. And then the NL, you got the Braves and Padres. And then you got St. Louis, Arizona, 1.5 games back. And then Mets are 1.5 games back. Pittsburgh's 2 games back. Washington, 3 games back. I mean, it's 3 games back with the Giants, 4 games back with Cincinnati, 4 games back with the Cubs. Yeah, so it's getting very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Just past the halfway point. And we're seeing really things start to shape up, and then in the wild card, it's just gonna be the Wild Wild West. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining me today in this episode 118. Something short, something sweet. You know, we're in the real downtime of the off season for many sports. Championships just finished up in the NCAA and in the NBA. We're still waiting for training camps to start in the NFL in the next few weeks. So it's gonna be kind of like a dead zone a little bit. We have the NBA draft today. I'll break that down on Tuesday's episode. But other than that, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Follow, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, follow me on all my Instagram and everything, social media related apps. I love you guys. God bless. And I leave you with the outro.
Que todos quieren ser el chamaquito que no pueden entender.